Tunnel Barn Farm, fishing with Paul Holland. He's into a unit.
Great big F1s.
You love them, don't you?
Oh, mate, amazing. Especially in this club pool.
They're massive.
Club and Jenny's. See if I can hold him up for you.
Let's have a little look.
Let's have a little look at you. Gander. Are you going to behave for me?
Lovely.
Look at that. Stunning F1, Frank.
Cracker. Well, mate, I want to know a few little tips from you
Yeah.
about catching fish just like that one.
Yes.
Carp and F1s on snake lakes like this little beauty. What are we on? Club Pool at Tunnel Barn Farm?
At Tunnel Barn Farm, yep.
Yep. Venues just like this, snake lakes. It's the autumn time now, mate. It's September. Yes. I want to know how you would target these sort of places to make the most out of your swim, because you've got a few little edges which I want everyone at home watching this video to learn, because you are the master at this sort of fishing. First one, mate, what is it?
Time of the year, Frank. That's the biggest thing. With the changing of the weather,
Yeah.
it's a big thing. In the summertime, you come here and you know you're going to catch loads of fish. You know you're going to have a brilliant day.
Can't
fishing.
fail, yeah.
Can't fail. Yeah, do what you want. You catch them here, catch them out of your hand. This time of the year, it's very, very changeable. So we could come here today and we could be fishing for £80 to do really, really well. We could be fishing for £150 to do really, really well. You don't know. So biggest thing is start in a depth and start across. So here it's very shallow down the middle.
So you're talking about where to actually fish.
Where to actually fish.
I love it.
Swim location.
Love it.
Start, biggest thing, in the summer you can start down the edge and you catch a load. When it's changing, autumn time, don't know really what's going to happen.
No.
So starting across, there's always going to be more fish across. If we look across now, you'll be able to see there's so much weed cover across.
Loads of cover.
Yeah.
So would you start tight to that, Paul?
No, it's starting in the depth. So biggest thing, depth down the middle here is 3.5 foot. So I know personally, if I start between 2.5 foot, I'm going to get bites. If it's a bit deeper, say 5-6 foot down the middle, roughly half depth. So 6 foot down the middle,
you'd be looking for half depth.
Yeah, half depth. So sort of 2.5 to 3 foot. That's going to be a good starting point. What that allows you to do, starting across on a bait, really, really instant, like pellets, tapping a few 4mm pellets in. If it's hard, micros and expander. By starting across and tapping a few pellets in, it gives you that, how's it going to fish? You're starting in a depth where you feel like you're going to be able to get some bites, gives you time to be able to prime down the middle, which we'll cover on a later, on another video or so.
Yes.
By starting across, one, it allows you to get off to a good start, give yourself a bit of confidence as well, go where the fish want to be. But also it gives you that feeling time. At this time of the year, what I said, I don't know if I'm fishing for £80 or £150, but by starting across,
you can look at everyone what's happening as well, can't you?
Yeah. And but also it's allowing me to be able to get that feeling. I'm tapping a bit of bait in. Am I getting a response? If I'm just say I started here in 2.5 foot, which I feel is the most negative way in terms of depth, I haven't started in too shallow water, so I know the fish are going to come in. If I start in 2.5 foot and tap some pellets in and I don't get any bites, it's telling me
it's not going to fish that great.
It's not going to fish that great.
Yeah, I like it.
But if I tap some pellets in, I'm getting indication, I'm getting bites, I'm getting signs. It's like, hang about, it's happening.
Fish are feeding.
Yeah. And then it gives me the option of two things. One, maybe going in slightly shallow water if I'm foul looking them across.
Makes them easier to catch.
It makes them easier to catch, but also it's telling me what to feed down the middle. Me across line is very rare I'm going to fish that all day. The damage line is down the middle.
Love it.
So I want to know, are they feeding, aren't they feeding?
Brilliant.
So whilst I'm not on that line, I'm guesstimating how much do I need to feed. But fishing across is going to give me that insight into how much to feed. And bottom line, get that feeling of the lake. Almost like you're plugged into the lake. Am I fishing for £80 or £150? So by starting in that manner, me, gives me the best chance of what I said, like plugging myself into the lake, getting that feeling early on. What am I fishing for? And that's going to set me up.
Love it, mate. Great little tip. On to the next one, which you've got loads to cover, and we'll cover that in the next video.
Yep.
So we know exactly where we're going to be starting a session, in that safe depth, tight to the far bank, but not too tight, in around half of the depth of what the middle would be. What would be your other line, mate? What would you be looking at targeting throughout the throughout the session, really? Do you have 2 or 3 lines? Do you have 4 or 5?
No, to be honest, I try and keep it nice and simple. Again, going back to that weight, I don't know what I'm fishing for, and a lot of the time, 80, 100 pound is going to be a really, really good weight.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, when it's windy, sometimes you can catch a few in the edge, but my main line is always down the middle, and it's just past halfway. I think that's really important at this time of the year.
Onto that harder bottom?
Not so much the harder bottom, it's more getting away from myself.
I like it,
So here it's probably 16 metres wide, roughly, with a short kit and a short fore, because I use that a lot. But I want to fish sort of 2/3 of the way across. It's getting away from myself. I could throw my maggot short, and I go in and go dunk, 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 and then they stop coming in because I'm sat right on top of them. But by fishing 2/3, also it gives me the option of being able to catch shallow.
I like
Even
it.
in the winter time, you still catch shallow.
Nice.
What you'll find a lot at this time of the year, it will happen an awful lot, where early on an average, it'll be quite difficult. There'll be an odd fish caught. But as the day goes on and it warms up, then all of a sudden the fish just come off bottom. And the last hour, 2 hours, sometimes, you know, after an hour and a half,
Love it.
they want to feed. So they come shallow.
You need to have that option, don't you?
You need to have that option. But again, I don't know what's happened there. Probably an F1's bumped it. There's
Scared
big
them
F1s
off.
in here. But what you'll find, I think, just by concentrating down the middle and working that line, if that line's not happening and I'm not getting bites there, I know by coming short I'm not going to get any more bites. I'll go back across.
Yeah.
And
It's
just
not
start
all
on
of a sudden
pellets.
going to be here, are they? If they're
No,
not feeding
no.
across there.
So just by simplifying it, starting across and priming up down the middle and
Love it.
alternating those 2 lines. Now what's important, touching on your shallow rigs, is you'll find on all my shallow rigs, the line limit here at Tunnel is 4 inches. But on every single one of my shallow rigs, I've got a long line.
Yeah,
and I've got some
noticed
back
that.
shots. It's important when the water goes clearer to keep that pole tip away from it. On every single one of my shallow rigs, even down to me shallowest shallow rig, sort of my little dibber rig,
Nice.
I've still got a long line. Use your back shots because that helps stop it drifting around. Just a couple of back shots.
Well, there's like cubes.
Yeah, yes, yeah,
nice.
2 number 8 cubes. But even on your shallowest rigs, that's another top tip. Keep your pole tip away just by using them back shots. I'll drop it here in the edge just to
do it.
show you. So you'll be able to see there, I can just hold my back shot. So if I get a bite,
I'm going to zoom in a bit.
sorry.
I'm just going to
See
zoom
that
in.
there?
Yeah, there, we're on it.
So with that wind,
Yeah, everything's dead tight, but like you say,
so
you
if
pull
that
tips
float
away.
dinks, there's a lot of the time it just pull the elastic out. But that way I can just lift and it's not gonna, my float is not gonna be drifting around in the wind.
Love it.
But more importantly, it's about keeping my pole tip away from the fish.
Brilliant.
So yeah, dead simple, dead simple.
So that's the only 2 lines that you'd set up on a typical sort of match session. You'd only be looking at sort of 3/4 of the way across here, just past middle,
Yes.
and then tight across.
Personally, yeah, you could on this lake, on some lakes, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't throw some bait in the edge, but don't get carried away with it.
Yeah.
What I find, again, personal preference, experience, is when other people do that, I've got that line to
It
myself.
makes that better.
And when I'm gonna, the biggest thing is what I've found in the past is when you do damage, when you go in and clatter them, it's that line that you clatter them on.
The middle one.
The middle one, yeah. So personally, and again, it's the easiest way. I don't want to make it hard for myself.
No.
What's the easiest way for me to be able to catch consistently throughout the day? Get away from myself, fish in a depth of water they want to be in, and feed a bait that they want to eat.
Brilliant, mate. Lovely tips. Next tip from Paul Holland. Bait, mate, innit?
Yes, bait. Really,
Lovely.
really important. Now, pellets are brilliant. Basically, the fish get bread on them. That is their baby milk, you know, that's the
Bread and butter,
Bread
innit?
and butter, exactly. They're really, really good because they're instant. So, starting across, tapping a few pellets in, bit of noise on the water.
I like that.
That's going to get you a quick indication.
Love it.
Your natural baits, your maggots, your casters, your worms, they take priming. You can't just start on them. It doesn't work like that. Now, I
Do you mean
guess
priming? You mean like time for the fish to react to them?
feed, yes,
Yeah.
feeding, you know, something
it.
down the middle line. Pellets, they're gonna lie dormant on the bottom, and this is something I really want to explain. So when the fishing's good in summertime, whatever you feed, pellets, casters, worms, corn, meat, every time I feed,
Yeah.
I'm just ending up with more and more and more bait on the bottom.
Yeah,
until that's eaten,
it's not going to move anywhere, is it?
No. So in the summertime, that's great because I can drag the fish in. There's bait on the bottom, so the fish are coming in and eating. I'm dragging more fish in, but I'm getting bait on the bottom. I'm trying to get as many fish in my peg as possible to be able to catch them. So casters, pellets, brilliant in the summertime.
When it's better, warmer, fish are more active.
Feeding. Right, now I'm going to get
I like this,
a handful of maggots. Yeah, I'm going to pop them there, and whilst we're gassing away, now it's still warm enough that the maggots are wriggling. And a lot of these lakes, the bottom's soft, you've got silt. Now look, have a look. So
bye now.
Yeah, bye. Ta-ra. The nice thing with maggots is you haven't got to worry about overcooking it because they're forever leaving your peg.
I like it.
The other nice thing about maggots is everything eats it. So if it's an 80-pound day, catching an odd perch, a few roach, a few skimmers,
keeps it ticking along, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can catch 15, 20 pound of accidents, and then you only need 6. You know, to catch 80 pound.
You need a. It's almost a less time throughout that better bit.
Yes.
You know, when it is the solid, you need less time.
Look now where our maggots are.
Exactly.
So the nice thing about fishing with maggots,
mate,
by flicking a few in,
they're like ghost maggots.
they're gone.
They're gone.
Casper maggots, they're disappeared. But the nice thing about maggots is you haven't got to worry about overcooking it.
Love it.
So you can flick a few in if you think, do you know what? Ain't really going that well now. Just stop feeding for a little bit. You know, carry on across and just.
You're almost starting again. That whole thing.
And it's the easiest way. That's the thing. And everything eats it as well. Pellets. Your skimmers and your roach, don't get me wrong, you'll catch an odd one on them, but everything loves eating maggots.
So these are the two baits, really, that you're looking at?
Yes.
Pellets?
Yes.
I guess you mean micro pellets and expanders if it's a bit harder.
Yeah, exactly.
And then harder 4 mils.
Yes. One thing that you touched on as well earlier was colour of maggots.
Yeah, I like that.
Right, so when you feel like the fish are feeding well and you're still catching an odd and shallow, white maggots are just white maggots.
They are the whitest maggots I've ever seen.
Yes. When it's winter time, just red maggots. Again, for this reason, there's a few white maggots there, but if you can imagine them on a darker bottom, they're really going to stand out a lot.
Fish are going to see them.
Yeah. Now, in the winter time, that's not a good thing because it looks like there's, and I think this is what happens with pellets. When with pellets, sometimes in the winter time, we all know this, you tap a few in, you go dunk, 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 and then you stop catching. And then you replumb up here in the same depth, start tapping them in, you start getting bites. What I think it is they can see the bait on the bottom.
Right.
They don't like a build-up of bait. With micro pellets, especially with them being light, there's too much bait on the bottom, and I think that's what happens with pellets. So with red maggots in the winter, red maggots on a silt sort of dark
Going to stand
black,
out less, isn't it?
It's going to stand out less. And just foul look less fish on it. And that's tried and tested. I've been here practicing. Fed one line with white maggots when it's cooler, one line with red maggots, and you foul look so many fish. You foul look so many more fish on white maggots.
The white ones.
So you hardly foul look any on red maggots.
It's amazing, isn't it, how that simple colour change can make a difference.
Yes, but that's why, again, it's... My dad always used to say to me, keep it simple, stupid. And it's worked a right treat for me. So that's it, keep it simple. One thing with this style of fishing as well is everything does work. So you can lose time. You can go in the edge and go dunk, dunk, and then all of a sudden, you wait and you get an odd little sign. And that's one thing with F1s. Sometimes you can get signs, but you're not catching anything. Yeah,
you almost feel like there's tons of fish in your peg. Yes. It's almost like you're not on the right bit.
Yeah, when you're looking at what have I caught in the last 25 minutes, I've caught 3 fish. Yeah. But by going, again, picking the right lines, making it easy for yourself. The only difference is between £80 and £150, like what we spoke about before, is you get bites quicker. And to be honest, you're probably more likely to have a better run shallow as well.
I love it.
Nice and simple.
Keep it simple, folks. Next tip from Paul Holland is all about catapults.
Yes, catapults. Really, really important. Again, because we want to fish just past halfway.
Yeah.
I like to be able to, just flick my maggots in. Personally, I like a real short elastic. That's what suits me. So it's very easy for me to be able to put a few maggots in. And
would this be the same principle with pellets as well?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Love it.
Catapult choice is very, very personal. And what's personal is this bit to this bit.
The length of elastic.
The length of it. Now, when you buy your catapult, that's how it comes.
I like it.
And you look at it and you think, whoa, that's long. Now, some people, they might like it at that long length. Me personally, I like it shorter. Nothing wrong with short people.
No.
So, to change my catapult is on the setting. And what's nice with these catapults, obviously you've got all these different settings. So
little pegs, aren't you?
Yeah,
Just
little
in
pegs. So me personally, I want it on the shortest setting.
To reduce the length of elastic for you. Yeah.
Yes, reduce the length of elastic.
That's good for accuracy, but it's also good for saving, prolonging the life of the elastic.
Exactly.
I like it.
Because your elastic just wears here normally. You sometimes get a little bit of wear here, but these are sort of, I don't know.
PTFE, they're almost soft.
That's it. Really, yes. And when it's moisture as well, do you know what I mean? They don't
only
tend
really
to wear.
goes on this part here.
Yeah. So when you've cut it down, then you might find for you, if I use my one as an example, because it's really short, you might use that and think, oh, I don't like that. It's a bit too short for me. That's what's nice is, look at that one. You can tell this is the one we've used, maggots. So I've used a different one. So by using the pins, you can just have it, you know, just up the setting. Exactly. And if you pop it on, just make sure you turn them little grey bits back.
I like it.
And you try that and you think, oh, I don't know, that's still a bit too short for me. For me, that'd be spot on.
Yeah.
But again, you can just move it up one.
Until you're happy.
Until you're happy. Exactly. Mine.
But that's also doing a couple of little things. Saves your elastics, folks, and it makes them last a lot longer. Once this goes, just cut it down, adjust the sort of peg, and make sure it's nice and accurate for yourself.
Yeah, that's it. And the biggest thing, catapult, personal, length of your elastic, get it right for you. That's the biggest tip. Because ultimately, feeding that middle line is the most important bit, and being accurate is really important. So getting the catapult to the right one that works for you is really important.
Brilliant. Couple of lovely little tips there, mate. Quick fire tips from Paul Holland, autumn snake lake fishing.
Yes.
Hit me with it, brother.
Hit me with your ribbon stick. Right, first thing, the little pot there.
What are those?
They are bait bands for 40mm boilies. Nice pretty coloured ones.
I like the little tub.
No, what they're actually for is me hooking me rig up.
I love it. What do they call it? A loom band?
Loom band. You got any kids, granddaughters? I stole mine off my niece.
I've got some from Amazon.
Dirt cheap. What I like about it is when I'm fishing, I don't have anything in my eye line.
They're really minimal, aren't they?
Yes, and it's basically, they're only there just to stop your elastic from rotting. Do you know what I mean?
So when it's all pulled out in the sun.
And then they, you know, it droops from the edges as such. And what's nice, obviously, with your short kits as well, touching on our short kit, is you can set all your stuff up at home. So like your few shallow rigs and that makes it more efficient. And you can just leave them like that, take them out on the day. It's easy, dead easy.
Lovely.
Now, lastly, on my top kit, you might be able to see we've got some hieroglyphics. Might look horrific to most people, but to be honest, it's
sending me a bit funky, man.
Yeah, to be honest, it's something I couldn't fish without.
Lovely.
Because
depth markers.
Depth markers, and all it is on the black section, silver Sharpie pen. Obviously, on the white section, just a black Sharpie pen.
Love it.
You can take it off with a bit of nail polish remover.
Love it.
If you don't want it on there anymore, but it's something that I wouldn't be able to fish without. Just allows me, again, plumbing up across in a certain depth.
You're looking for right depth.
Yes, but also when it comes to fishing shallow. So just say it's been 3.5 foot down the middle. My best depth today fishing shallow was between, say, 16 inch and 20 inch.
Love it.
I know that, and I can remember it rather than going, well, my best depth was kind of like, say, I don't know, like looking at it there, oh, it was about from where my wrapping was to sort of about here.
Yeah.
I want to go home with that information.
You want to know exactly?
I want to know, I want to know how deep I caught across, how deep it was on the bottom. More information you get, the easier it is to make choices, personally.
Nice little tip that you said to me earlier, one that you couldn't fish without, is touching back on this top kit.
Yes, short kit.
Short kit?
Oh, 1,000,000%, because... Again, going on to another tip, pole pots at times. So I've got like my little sprinkle lid, so I can just slide him on. What I like about this, when obviously I'm filling my pot up, I can hold my top kit here. It's never going to snap. It's never bottom heavy. Whereas if you're using a long kit, it can be awkward. The other thing is it dramatically improves the stiffness of your pole because of the taper. A lot of the time when you're F1 fishing, tapping a bit of bait in, trying to hold your float dead still, so having the pole as stiff as possible makes a massive difference. Also, when it comes to netting fish, just like using a 10-foot rod rather than a 13-foot rod.
They pop up dead close to you.
I
love it.
So yeah, everything about that, to be honest, I couldn't fish without it. I absolutely love it.
Little quick one, touching on elastic choice. What do you use at this time of year?
At the moment, I'd still use white hydro, but basically, as soon as they start fighting, again, quickly touching on that little reverse bead, I know seen plenty of that, but again,
Is that your go-to, is it?
yeah, I wouldn't fish with anything else, to be honest. So light, and every time I attach my elastic as well, I get to see, just do this.
Oh, hang on, there we go.
A little wet, just to stop any friction. But every time I attach my knot,
Yeah.
I get to look at my elastic and see if there's any wear or tear.
So what if it is worn, mate?
Oh, it's dead simple. It's the easiest thing to do ever. So, let me just pop me rig off. So, notice I've just got one loop there
Yeah,
to
just pop
take
one there,
take
yeah.
me rig off. So just say if my elastic's worn a little bit, let's pop my pot off. Move me. So just say there's a little bit of wear and tear. What I
Yeah.
do, always wet your bead, slide him down a little bit,
Okay.
and then it's just one overhand knot. So like so, pop it through, again wet it, and then what I do is before I cut it, I just slide that over, and I don't know if you can hear this, but if you listen,
I heard it then.
clicks.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear it.
So it stops it sliding when your elastic's under tension. And then just with my scissors, all I do is just trim it. If I can, oh, let me do it so you can see it. So I just trim it like so.
So you have a little bit hanging out.
Yes.
Just to grab it, obviously.
Exactly.
Love it. I
And
heard it. I heard it.
That is really, really important.
Little click.
And it just stops it. So when your elastic's under tension, it's not sliding up and down the line. So
Right, let's fire on some more.
next one is hooks. At the moment, it's still fishing well. So 16 Super LWG,
Yeah.
014 hook length, that sort of equivalent is bang on.
Love it.
But the fishing can still be 80, 100 pound, but sometimes using it like an 012, 011 hook length and a 16 F1 pellet hook, the difference that makes is frightening when you're fishing. Maggots or expanders.
Is that because the weight is different?
Weight,
Slightly
yes,
lighter.
Slightly lighter.
Is it
but
still
that-
strong enough?
Oh, that 16 hook is ridiculously strong. You look at it, well, on that subject, not F1 fishing, but last winter I caught a carp, 24 pound, 12 ounce on a waggler with 2 maggots, 012 hook length, and it was up there.
Wow.
As long as you take your time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that is
Balance tackle,
yeah, exactly,
take your time.
balance tackle. That's my dobbin hook. So that's
Love it.
my next biggest tip.
Brilliant.
On to our next tips: pole pots,
Okay.
pellets, your little sprinkle pot. And all I do when I get my pots is I just reverse the lid. So that's how it comes when you buy it.
Yeah.
And you have to pull it this way to release it. But if you get your pot like so, just use your nail.
Open it up.
Open it up slightly and reverse it. You'll see there's a little lip there, and then
Which makes it a bit easier to
just
do
makes it a
Especially
bit
when your
easier
hands are
to
dead
open
cold,
it.
I bet.
Yeah, so that sort of pellet when
sort of pot.
that sort of pot when I'm rattling a few pellets in across.
Lovely.
When we were fishing down the middle with my catapult, sometimes you just want to tighten it up a bit. So using an open hold lid like so, and then just pop in your maggots in your pot like so.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then all I do is, you see you've got some holes here.
Yeah.
I literally just push my pot under the water.
Dunk
and
it.
Dunk it, that's it. Just get a bit of moisture in it, and that'll just stick all their maggots together. So that way, when I'm shipping out, they won't bounce out like so.
I like
You
it.
see them vibrating a bit.
Yeah.
So just by having a bit of moisture in there, it'll stop them bouncing.
I like it.
And sometimes you can be catching your maggots, seeing an odd little pimp, you're not really getting any bites, pop your pot on the end of your pole, ship out, feed your maggots, drop your float on it, dunk.
Focus and
Just
move more.
focus, and that's it, just tighten it all up. So
love it,
yeah,
mate.
that's my quick fire tips. Lastly, I wouldn't go anywhere without, obviously, me little
Trimming shots.
trimming shots. As you
That
can
got
see,
your float right down
yeah,
a pimple.
dot me float right down, that's it. Just have all my little cubes with me, you know, my number 8s
Is that what
and
you use,
9s,
Paul?
my
Cubes
back shots.
mainly?
Yeah, I love them because you see them on all my rigs. What I like about them, and there's my bottom rig. So you see there, I've just got my cubes lined up, my dropper. But what I like about them is just say I think, oh, I want to fish, you know, maybe a bit more of a slower fall. I can literally, this is how easy it is, just slide
Move
them
everything up. Slide them up.
Slide them up. And then all I do is, to be honest, really, if you want to be proper when you're doing it, if I was fishing, this is exactly what I would do.
Okay.
I would line up all the splits and
What does
just
that do? Just
leave.
give it a bit more neater.
Yeah, a lot neater, and they
Like
sit
it.
so much nicer. And then just leave a tiny, tiny little gap in between each one. And that, they sit absolutely bang on. Sit
love
dead
it, mate.
straight. It's just so easy, nice
like
and
it.
simple. So
Cracking
yeah,
little
they're
tips.
my top little tips really.
Autumn, Snake Lake fishing.
get out there, give it a go, because the fishing is unreal. When you catch some of them big old wily QF1s,
Yeah.
you can't help but think, yeah, I got you today, I outwitted you.
Love it. Cheers, brother.
No problems at all.